Welcome to the deep dive, where we get you those golden nuggets of knowledge to get you well informed fast. Have you ever scrolled through social media, maybe seen incredible handmade furniture and thought, wow, I wish I could do that? Only for that next thought to just crash in, but it's too expensive, you know? I don't have a giant workshop or all those specialized tools. I'd probably just ruin expensive wood anyway. It's a really common mental hurdle, isn't it? This idea that woodworking is some exclusive, costly club reserved for, seasoned pros with endless budgets and these massive spaces, that feeling of creative paralysis, where the fear of the cost just kind of overshadows the desire to actually make something. Well, today we're here to basically dismantle that myth piece by piece. Okay, let's unpack this. Our deep dive today is all about budget woodworking, how you can get started, build real skill, and honestly create genuinely beautiful pieces without breaking the bank. Our source material is Budget Woodworking, 10 projects and blueprints for beginners, and it offers this incredibly practical roadmap. Our mission, it's to show you that not only is this totally accessible, but it's actually maybe one of the most effective ways to learn. We're offering you a shortcut, a way to enjoy that really satisfying, almost therapeutic process of working with your hands, but minus the financial stress and, frankly, the intimidation factor.
Yeah. And what's truly insightful here, I think, is how this guide just immediately tackles that core psychological barrier right up front. It doesn't just promise affordability. It really champions resourcefulness. That's the foundation of the craft, it argues. It completely shifts your perspective. You stop seeing limitations and start recognizing opportunity in stuff that's readily available, inexpensive materials. And this isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's about liberating you from that paralysis of perfection, that feeling you get when you're working with really costly lumber.
Oh, yeah. Terrified to make a wrong cut.
Exactly. So this encourages bolder experimentation, which in turn helps you learn skills way faster than agonizing over, precious exotic woods. So yeah, we're going to dive into some really practical projects, understand those little pitfalls beginners often face, and reveal how clear, comprehensive plans are basically your secret weapon. They make the whole journey not just affordable, but genuinely empowering.
That idea of liberation from perfectionism,
Oh.
that sounds like the real key to actually starting something, doesn't it? So let's jump right into our first segment then. Why budget woodworking works so brilliantly for beginners, and crucially, what kind of materials actually make it possible? Because the source is super clear on this.
Yeah.
You don't need those exotic hardwoods. You don't need a workshop filled with, five-figure machines. The magic, and definitely the learning, happens with much, much more accessible stuff. So consider the resources this guide really focuses on, these common, often overlooked things. First, and this is pretty creative, scrap wood. We're talking pieces you might already have, tucked away in the garage, maybe offcuts from other projects. Or even discarded lumber from construction sites, obviously. Respectfully acquired, you gotta ask first.
Right. Don't just take stuff.
No, definitely not. But for someone who maybe already knows a little bit about wood, the guide gets into how to wisely pick these pieces. Looking past just surface flaws to check the grain, look for hidden nails or screws, figure out how to get the most usable wood out of weird shapes. It's really about seeing potential where most people just see, waste, transforming rubbish into your next project.
And that's where the real learning kicks in, I think. Working with scrap wood isn't just about saving money, though that's great. It's like a masterclass in problem solving on the fly. You learn to read the wood more critically, right? You anticipate how an old knot might affect your cut, or where to place your template to avoid a split that's already starting. And then beyond scrap, the source also highlights things everyone can get, affordable pine or plywood.
Okay, the stuff you see at any hardware store.
Exactly. And it's not just cheap, it's incredibly forgiving when you're learning those basic skills.
Right.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this focus on inexpensive materials just massively lowers the barrier to entry, takes away the financial risk, so you can experiment. You can make those mistakes everyone makes at the start, like a cut that's slightly off, or a joint that doesn't quite line up. And you learn from it without feeling like you just threw $50 down the drain. So this method isn't just about making it accessible. It's about making the learning itself more enjoyable, much less intimidating for you. It builds that confidence, which then encourages you to try slightly harder things next time.
That's such a good point. The material itself becomes the teacher in a way. I definitely remember my first few attempts at anything creative.
Yeah.
The cost of materials just made me so hesitant I barely even started. So this approach really does remove that mental block. Now, the source really shines, I think, by moving past the theory and giving you immediate, actionable steps. It highlights 10 specific, affordable projects you can start like right away. And it assures us all of them work with scrap or inexpensive wood. So maybe instead of just listing them off, let's group them a bit, maybe by the skills they help you build. Okay, first up, let's talk about what I'm going to call the foundational skill builders. These are projects where precision and basic joining techniques are really key. And the guide shows how to do it with minimal tools. Think about simple wooden shelves. Seems basic, right? But it's not just nailing two planks to brackets. It's about mastering square cuts, understanding how to find studs in the wall so they're actually secure, and applying a consistent finish so it looks good. The guide emphasizes simple joints, like butt joints or maybe cleat systems that are sturdy but easy for beginners.
Right, no complex joinery needed yet.
Exactly. Then there are DIY picture frames. Instead of paying a lot for store-bought ones, crafting your own is like a mini masterclass in precision. The source actually shows some clever jig techniques so you can get perfect mitered corners, even with basic hand saws. You take minimal material and turn it into something that looks really professional. That's super satisfying if you're trying to get better at accurate cutting.
It really is. And it's those kinds of projects that sharpen your eye for detail. You learn super quick that even a tiny mistake in measurement at the start, it becomes a big, ugly gap at the joint later on.
Been there.
We all have. So beyond those precision pieces, the guide also dives into what I'd maybe call upcycling marvels. Here, you're not just putting pieces together, you're actually transforming something. A perfect example is the pallet coffee table.
Ah, the classic pallet project.
The classic, and if you can get free pallets, the source even gives tips on finding safe, untreated ones, which is important.
Very important.
You learn not just basic construction, but also how to take them apart carefully without wrecking the wood. You learn about serious sanding to avoid splinters, and how to stabilize and finish that reclaimed wood to make it look great, bring out the character, but still be durable. This project really forces creative thinking and understanding how to work with the wood's imperfections.
I like that idea.
And similarly, storage crates are fantastic. They teach you efficient cutting, maybe from plywood sheets or reclaimed planks, consistent fastening, how to make corners strong. You turn simple boards into really useful stackable storage, or even just decorative pieces.
Yeah, turning imperfections into character.
Ugh.
I love that phrase. Okay, and finally, let's look at the quick wins in decorative pieces. These are often fast, satisfying projects, great for gifts, actually, and they let you practice finishing techniques. Rustic wooden coasters are a perfect example. You use tiny bits of scrap wood, practice sanding them really smooth, experiment with different stains or maybe oils, and then put on a sealant so they last. It's low commitment, but you get something cool right away.
Instant gratification.
Totally. Similarly, small plant stands. Just a few cuts can add a lot of charm to a room. They teach simple assembly, how to make a structure stable, and then there's the classic, low-cost fun one, birdhouses. The source details how to make them. They're just a wonderful way to practice different kinds of cuts and assembly, and you end up with something that actually benefits your local wildlife.
Adds life to the garden, yeah.
So all these projects, from shelves to birdhouses, they're not just about the thing you make. They're like structured lessons in woodcraft. Each one designed to build specific skills step by step.
And this raises an important question, doesn't it? Beyond just making cool stuff. What are you actually gaining from this step-by-step approach? What really stands out here is how every single project, even the simplest coaster or, say, a wall key holder, another quick stylish one the source mentions.
Oh yeah, near the door, simple.
Right. Each one teaches fundamentals. Measuring accurately, making straight cuts, proper sanding, applying finishes. Think of the absolute building blocks. And by mastering them on these low-stakes projects, you're building this solid foundation of knowledge and actual hands-on ability with every single piece you finish successfully. It just demystifies the whole craft, makes it feel genuinely achievable. It proves that real craftsmanship isn't always about having the most expensive tools. It's about attention to detail and a methodical approach.
That is such a crucial point, building that confidence incrementally. Yeah, that's absolutely key. But, even with simple projects, beginners can still stumble. And let's be honest, they often do.
For sure.
So let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about some common pitfalls and, maybe more importantly, how you can sidestep them. We're drawing this right from our source's excellent list. The book details 4 key mistakes that often trip up new woodworkers. And maybe some seasoned ones, too, sometimes. First, and this is the bane of many a DIR's existence, bad measurements. Measure twice, cut once. It's not just a catchy phrase, is it? It's like woodworking commandment number 1.
Pretty much.
I still remember my first attempt at a simple storage box. Thought I could just eyeball a couple of cuts, you know? How hard could it be?
Uh-oh.
Needless to say, my square box looked more like a wobbly trapezoid, and I wasted a perfectly good bit of plywood. Inaccurate cuts don't just make things look wonky, they lead to wasted material, which is exactly what you don't want on a budget and just a lot of frustration. Second mistake? Using the wrong materials. Sometimes a piece of wood looks totally fine.
Looks can be deceiving.
Totally. But if it's prone to warping or cracking, or maybe it's just the wrong type of wood for the stress your project needs, it can ruin the whole thing pretty quickly. The guide really emphasizes understanding wood characteristics, things like grain direction so you don't get tear out when you cut, or picking stable wood for certain jobs. That's crucial when you're dealing with varied, maybe unpredictable, inexpensive lumber.
Absolutely critical. And building on that, the third common pitfall is missing essential tools. Now, you don't need a giant collection of super high-end gear. We've established that.
Right.
But not having some basic yet really crucial tools can turn a simple task into an absolute nightmare. Think about clamps. They seem simple, but they're not just for holding pieces while glue dries. They apply consistent pressure, which is vital for strong joints that actually last.
Okay, so clamps are non-negotiable, basically.
Pretty much. Or a good square. It's not just a ruler with a corner. It guarantees your cuts are actually 90 degrees. That prevents those annoying gaps and wobbly final products. The source really hammers this home. A modest investment in a few right tools saves you way more in wasted wood and headaches down the line.
Makes sense.
And then finally, the big one you touched on, skipping the plan. So many beginners just bursting with enthusiasm. They jump right in without a clear blueprint or drawing.
Guilty as charged in the past.
It happens. But it often results in mismatched parts, wasting more money trying to fix things, and sadly, quite often, just abandoning the project halfway through. It's almost a guaranteed path to frustration, and yet it almost always ends up costing more in the long run, ironically.
It's so true. And those mistakes, they often just come from being eager or maybe not having that initial guidance. But they are, thankfully, incredibly easy to avoid. And that's where the solution the source offers really shines. The huge benefit of having a clear step-by-step plan or blueprint. What's really illuminating here is just how much easier and, frankly, more enjoyable woodworking becomes when you have detailed instructions. It completely cuts out that frustrating cycle of second-guessing your cuts or struggling with measurements or just standing there wondering, okay, what do I do next?
Yeah, the analysis paralysis.
Exactly. You're freed up to just enjoy the actual process, the rhythm of cutting, sanding, putting things together.
Yeah, the source powerfully highlights the value of these comprehensive project plans. It even references resources out there that offer, like, thousands of detailed blueprints. Imagine having a personal guide, basically. A mentor walking you through every type of project you could possibly think of.
That sounds amazing.
It is. These kinds of plans give you everything you need. We're talking exact measurements down to the fraction and inch or millimeter. Comprehensive material lists, often even accounting for using common offcuts. Clear illustrations, sometimes those exploded diagrams that show exactly how every single piece fits together.
Those are the best.
They really are. And step-by-step instructions, specifically designed to be easy for beginners to follow. What does that mean for you? It means less wasted wood, because you know exactly what you need up front. Far fewer mistakes, because the sequence is totally clear. And ultimately, just more finished projects that you can be genuinely proud of, built efficiently, effectively. It really is about working smarter, not harder, especially when you're just starting out. It transforms that potential frustration into real, tangible accomplishment.
That sounds like an absolute game changer for anyone looking to get into woodworking but maybe scared off by the potential headaches of trial and error.
Definitely.
And that brings us towards the end of our deep dive today. Let's just quickly recap the core message here. Woodworking on a budget. It's not only incredibly possible, but it's actually one of the very best ways for you to learn the craft. By starting small, focusing on affordable, practical projects, you build those essential skills, you boost your confidence, and you end up creating a whole collection of handmade items that honestly will probably look far more expensive than they actually were to make. And as we've just discussed, having access to good, comprehensive blueprints, that can help you completely skip that frustrating trial and error stage. Saves you significant time, money, and yeah, a lot of potential frustration. It's really about making the journey as smooth and rewarding as it possibly can be.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means you genuinely have the power to take simple, often overlooked, inexpensive materials and transform them into something tangible, something functional, something beautiful. But I want to leave you with a thought that maybe goes a little beyond just the finished project itself. Consider the process. Think about it. What skills, beyond just woodworking, are you actually developing when you tackle these projects?
Interesting angle.
You're honing patience, right?
Uh,
Waiting for glue to dry or meticulously sanding a surface smooth.
hmm.
You're definitely refining your problem-solving abilities, adapting to that weird knot in the scrap wood, or figuring out why a joint is a bit wobbly.
Yeah, troubleshooting.
Exactly. You're cultivating meticulous attention to detail, which is valuable in pretty much anything you do. And you're experiencing that really profound satisfaction of seeing something you pictured in your head actually come to life through your own effort, your own hands. So how might these small, budget-friendly creations actually spark a larger sense of accomplishment, a bigger feeling of creative freedom? Could that ripple out into other areas of your life, make you feel more resourceful, maybe more resilient, more confident overall? Just something to think about. Remember the Source's simple mantra: start simple, build smart, and most importantly, enjoy the process.